Hello, I'm Andy Nolch, the host of the Kink TV show, and today I want to do a review of Scientology. I've been involved with it for 6 years now, and so for people who are just wanting to check out what this whole Scientology thing is, here's a sort of short review of what it's all about. So it's a religion or some sort of philosophy or self-help system that was started mainly by L. Ron Hubbard in the 50s. What you do is you study courses and you do therapy to improve yourself, and it's really, really interesting. The first thing I want to say is that there's a difference between Scientology and the Church of Scientology. The church is like a sort of church and sort of like a business, and it's a big organization, and Scientology is like a religion and a self-help and the courses and stuff. And at the church, they deliver the Scientology courses. Now, you got to think of it sort of in the way like the church could make burgers, or the church could sell computers, but the church sells L. Ron Hubbard courses, right? And charges a lot for them. Okay, and so you've got to understand this difference. And you've also got to understand as well that you don't have to go to the church to do L. Ron Hubbard courses and to get the knowledge. Firstly, you could just read all his books and do it at home privately yourself. But you probably wouldn't be able to do a lot of the auditing because you have to find someone else to do it on you. So what I'd recommend is if you want to go down that route, you'd have to hire an auditor to come to your house, or you go to their house, because the auditor is the person who does the counselling and that sort of stuff. So you can do that, right? Sorry for pausing so much. And with the church, this is my review. So in this review of Scientology, I'm going to be reviewing Scientology, like the sort of the religion, and Scientology, the church, because a lot of people, when they say Scientology, right, they can be referring to either the religion or the church. And it took me a long time to work this out. Right? Because when I went into the Church of Scientology, I thought, oh, this was Scientology. But it's just like, no, this is a church's version of Scientology. Right? There's a big difference there. Okay? Because there are people who, like I said, how you can hire like a private auditor. There are people who call themselves independent Scientologists or free zone Scientologists, who are Scientologists who have nothing to do with the church. Right? Because they don't want to put up with all the crap that's associated with the church, because there's a lot of crap associated with them, and I'm sorry to offend anyone who's involved with the church who's listening to this, but that's just the truth of the situation. Okay? But don't get upset that there's problems with your church, because there's hope. There's the free zone and there's independent Scientology, where you can just do it and you can be free and you get the benefits from Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard tech and not have to put up with all the crap from the church. Okay? So I'll give you a basic idea. This church thing officially got, incorporated at around 1955. And they charge a lot for the courses, which is pretty unreasonable. Like, I mean, anywhere from $200 to $1,000 an hour for doing the counselling, which is just outrageous. That's just so much money, right? I think it might be a bit of a racket. But also, when you're involved with them, you have to follow a lot of strict rules. And so it's like you get the benefit of doing the Scientology courses, but then you have to put up with all the crap from the church. So at the end of the day, it's just like, why'd you even bother? You might as well not even bother getting into it in the first place, And so recently I've actually left the church because I found out how the church was operating, and I found out that you can do Scientology outside of the church. So why not do it there, where you can do it free, where you can do it cheaper? So when I say you do it free, I don't mean it's for free, because you're still going to have to hire an auditor and that sort of stuff. but it's free from all these strict rules and this crazy nutsiness. And at the church as well, what they do is they really pressure you to donate a lot of money to the church, to help the church, you know what I mean? And also they want you to donate a lot of your time and volunteer a lot. So you get a lot of pressure when you're involved with this church organisation. And from what I noticed, a lot of people who are involved there, they've got problems. And, you know, it's because the church is suppressing them and causing them problems, right? And also, the church is changing L. Ron Hubbard's teachings. So the therapies are not being done correctly, and the books have been changed and made badly. Whereas people in the free zone and independent Scientologists, they have kept the books the way they were when L. Ron Hubbard originally released them. They haven't been making changes. And, you know, not all of the people in the free zone are good, because it's kind of like fish and chip shops. Like, you can have some good and you can have some bad fish and chip shops, but you just go to one that's got a good reputation and you find a good one. But whereas the church, they're all controlled and they're all made to be the same, and they've all been equally made to be bad. You know what I mean? So with the church, you definitely don't get what L. Ron Hubbard intended with his writings and stuff and the benefits. And with the free zone, depending on who you get involved with, it can be good or bad. So at the moment, you're much rather better off going with the free zone and independent Scientology, because you have the option of it being good or it being bad. Whereas the other way around, you're definitely going to be bad. The only people who I would actually recommend to get involved with the church are people who are super rich, because the courses are just real cheap. Like $100 an hour to a really rich person is like $5 an hour. So it's like, you know, if you're really rich, just get involved with the church. And also, they treat you a bit nicer and more special. So if you're super rich, you know what, just go with the church. Personally, I still wouldn't. If I was super rich, I would still go with the free zone. But, you know, it really only suits people who are super rich, you know, to be involved with this church. Now, I know what I'm saying might sound a bit shocking and that sort of stuff, but yeah, I've seen a lot of evidence, and a lot of the people who are independent Scientologists have left the church and call themselves independent Scientologists because they've seen how the church has changed things that L. Ron Hubbard wrote, which was quite shocking when I found out, and it's just outrageous that they would do that. It seems that evidence is suggesting, right, that in old age, L. Ron Hubbard started to go a bit loopy and started changing his church into something that's bad, right? And also that the church got infiltrated by the CIA. And I know it sounds really crazy and conspiracy theory and all that sort of stuff. Whatever. That's just the explanation for why things start to go bad in the church, right? But all you have to do is you just have to try the two. You know what I mean? Try the church for a year and try the free zone for the year, and you'll probably come to the same conclusion as me, that you don't want to get involved with the church. Okay? Now, a lot of people in the church don't even know that they can do Scientology outside of the church that's good. They think that the people who do Scientology outside of the church are a few nutcases who left the church and are rebellious and are doing some crazy, weird, funky version of Scientology, which is not true at all. There are one or two, you know, crazy, funky people, but a lot of them are just good, passionate Scientologists that are doing what's right and couldn't continue being involved with the corrupt organisation that's the Church of Scientology. Okay? That's the first part of the review, is just letting you realise, because I didn't know this when I first got into this in 2010, I didn't realise that there was two versions of Scientology. There's the Church of Scientology and there's the Free Zone and Independent Scientology, right? So the review of it is to just don't be involved with the church, go down the Free Zone Scientology path. Now, the second part of the review is me actually talking about Scientology and what it is, the religion or philosophy or self-help thing, whatever you want to call it, You can make arguments that it's all of those things. And so what that is I think I might have mentioned this earlier, it's good information that helps you, right, in the books and stuff like that, but also it's good therapy that helps you. And some people have cured illnesses with it. Some people have gotten rid of like their social anxiety problems and depression, and some people have just gotten a lot happier and more successful with doing this Scientology stuff. And it's one of the best things I've ever done, and it's completely life-changing. And I totally recommend getting into the free zone and in the independent field. If you're a pretty wealthy person, then jump on the internet right now, try and find a really good free zone or independent auditor, and just hire them and pay them wherever you are in the world. Pay them to fly to your house and start doing this therapy on you. Or, actually no, probably before that, I'll just read some of L. Ron Hubbard's beginning books and see if you like them. That's one of the first things. I read Dianetics as the first book, and I liked the ideas that it was talking about and stuff. Just start reading some of the books, and I found that they were really good, some of these beginning books and stuff. And try and get copies of the books that aren't the Church of Scientology version. So go to the look on the internet, maybe download them. I think you can get all this sort of stuff for free on the internet. Try and find, the New Slant on Life, Problems at Work, Dianetics. I think they're really good, and try and find them, but the old versions. So not the Golden Age of Tech versions. No, sorry, not the Golden Age of Knowledge versions, because in those versions that the church released, I've seen evidence to suggest that they've just screwed those books up. Like they've changed them a lot in order. They had to apparently change them in order to get copyright credit so that they could make money from them. So that's how corrupt it is. So I've noticed. I looked at the new version of New Slant on Life and the old version of it when L. Ron Hubbard originally released it. And the old version was much better. It was easier to understand, had better information. And the new version was just like a prettier cover and more little fancy pictures in it, and a lot of good information was taken out. And the writing, the words of it had changed around and been made more complex, which I found was just outrageous. Because the church claims to be like, with all these new releases that the church does, they claim to be fixing all the stuff that L. Ron Hubbard did, and that's just all bullshit. They say that before L. Ron Hubbard passed away, he left instructions to fix up certain things. I mean, we never see those instructions, but they just claim that he left special secret instructions or whatever. And they're going around and fixing up all this stuff. And they're like, oh, look at what the new thing we've released, and come give us your money and buy it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, totally check out Scientology. I can't think of anything that's more important for me, or that's just an eye opener, and it's actually a lot of fun. And if it's not fun, it's not Scientology. So when you get involved with the church, it tends to not really be fun, and that's because it's not really Scientology. You know what I mean? It's actually this cool sort of unusual new agey religion thing that I recommend really trying out. There's lots of different organizations around the world that call them different names that deliver Scientology. Like some of them are called like Advanced Stability Center, and the Center of the Golden Plains or some shit, or the Church of the New Civilization or something. And they're independent and free zone centers. So I'd recommend, looking into them and going to them and just avoiding the Church of Scientology. And I think that's all I have to say about that. So that's my review. Yeah, I absolutely recommend it. It's improved me like there's no tomorrow. I can't describe how much it's improved me. And it's also, it's the first, like, sort of religion or spiritual or unusual thing that I looked into. And, yeah, it's really cool. So get into it. Absolutely try it. And I had something else to say, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, so with the Church of Scientology, right? If you do have one near your house and you want to try it out, whatever, go ahead, try it out. But just remember what I've told you. Seriously, remember what I've told you. I'm not some evil person, because the church will say, people who attack Scientology are evil and all this sort of stuff. Well, am I attacking Scientology? I haven't said anything to attack Scientology. I've said everything to attack the Church of Scientology, but they try and claim that the Church of Scientology is Scientology, but it's not. Scientology is a religion and a philosophy. The Church of Scientology is a corporate organisation. Anyway, so yeah, go check it out, but just be careful. Don't give them much money or anything, and just be aware of what I'm saying in this video, and they'll tell you, you'll go to them and you'll say, well, I heard this video with Andy NOLCH in it, and he was saying blah, 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 that you guys aren't that good, and then they'll go, oh, don't listen to him, that's negative, false information. But they just have no idea about their own church. The thing you have to understand is that most people involved with the Church of Scientology don't know the truth about their own organisation, and aren't that switched on and aren't that smart, to be honest. Seriously, that's just the truth of it. They're not that smart. A lot of the smart people left. The church suffered a big brain drain from the 80s, and it's still going on now, because anyone who gets involved with it that's got half a brain just leaves, because they're like, what the hell's going on here? This is just stupid, because they can see how corrupt it is. And so you might walk in and everyone's nice to you and it seems nice, and you go, oh, these courses and these books are cool, and they are, and so you can get all caught up in it, and it's just like, just be careful and realise that if you have any problems with the church, realise you can leave the church and you can still do Scientology, because they'll tell you can't do it anywhere else. Don't ever forget that, When it becomes a problem, just leave and go to a free zone org, or hire a private auditor to do the counselling on you, and then you'll be alright. So if you listen to this and going, what the hell, I thought my church was good, or blah, 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 well, just investigate it yourself. Look into it. I've thoroughly looked into this whole Scientology thing, and what I've discovered is this, that the church slowly started getting corrupt from 1965 onwards, that it doesn't deliver the correct Scientology courses. It's just a problem for the people who are involved with it. A lot of the members don't even know what's going on. They're all highly controlled by David Miscavige, and what the reason why things went bad was L. Ron Hubbard went bad as he went old, for whatever reason. Okay, I got some reasons. I'm not going to bother saying why in this video, but L. Ron Hubbard started going bad, so then he started changing the policies of the church, which started making the church go bad. Then it got infiltrated by the CIA in the 70s, and this started to send the church downhill. Apparently the CIA infiltrated lots of religious and New Agey organisations as well. It wasn't just Scientology. And then also, after L. Ron Hubbard passed away, this new guy took over leadership called David Miscavige, and he is a bad guy. He's not good. And you see the results of his leadership in the church if you get involved with it. Just be careful of any organisation that tries to trap you in it, because that's what the whole church is. It's a trap. The Church of Scientology is a trap. So you're getting involved with a trap that you can get stuck in. But of course the trap doesn't tell people it's a trap. It says that, we're a great religion and we're helping you and it's really good and blah, 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 blah. But it's just like, just remember, you can do it in a free zone and independent organisation where you're not trapped in it. So that's my Scientology review video. And if you want to check out the King TV show, just check out YouTube, search the King TV show. Alright, thanks, see ya.